The technology sector has developed a distinct ritual for executive departures. When high-level artificial intelligence executives leave their posts, they frequently cite deeply held ethical boundaries, framing their exits as moral protests against their employers. These highly publicized resignations generate immediate press coverage and goodwill, but the public narratives surrounding these moral stances rarely survive contact with the underlying financial math. Consider the case of Caitlin Kalinowski. On March 7th, Kalinowski officially stepped down from her role at OpenAI. OpenAI is the prominent artificial intelligence research organization responsible for developing ChatGPT and scaling generative AI models globally. Her publicly stated rationale for leaving was highly specific. She cited principled concerns regarding the lack of internal oversight and specifically pointed to the risks of unsupervised AI interacting with Pentagon surveillance systems. In the AI industry, public relations maneuvers and designated ethical exits often function as a smokescreen, masking contradictory financial architectures operating quietly in the background. This recurring contradiction forces us to ask how the AI community actually enforces safety protocols and operational oversight. Right now, the industry is split between two diametrically opposed methodologies for keeping technology companies in check. This split-screen diagram tracks those two dominant approaches. On the left is the California model. This relies on internal corporate advocacy, employee petitions, and open letters demanding ethical behavior from leadership. On the right is the Montana model. This approach relies on hard legal testing, leveraging existing state laws to force strict statutory friction onto technology companies. By deconstructing the exact timeline of the Kalinowski resignation, we will prove that true operational oversight relies strictly on legal codes, not public values. To understand the actual state of AI guardrails today, you have to ignore the open letters entirely. You have to audit the financial ledgers and read the state laws. Let us return to the exact date of that highly publicized OpenAI resignation, March 7th. The stated objective of this exit was protesting the integration of AI with large-scale surveillance architectures. This chronological timeline maps the sequence of events. Here on the right, we have the March 7th exit, but the data reveals a critical action taken exactly 8 days prior, on February 27th. On that Tuesday, Kalinowski executed a stock sale liquidating $497,879 in equity. That $500,000 cash-out did not come from OpenAI. The stock belonged to Axon. Axon is a massive, publicly traded technology corporation specializing in law enforcement and military hardware. Axon's core business model is not consumer electronics. They are a global leader in police surveillance technology, manufacturing everything from body cameras to digital evidence management systems used by the state. You cannot legitimately claim the mantle of a privacy hero exiting the surveillance state when you quietly cashed out a massive bonus from a global surveillance leader 8 days prior. The contradiction extends past that single February stock sale and directly into her current corporate affiliations. This dual-column corporate ledger tracks her professional footprint. The left column confirms the severed OpenAI tie. The right column confirms she retains an active, ongoing position as a director at Axon. As a sitting director, her retained financial interest in that surveillance company is massive, currently holding over $2 million in Axon shares. The media coverage praised the moral clarity of stepping away from OpenAI, entirely omitting the reality of this $2 million retained equity in police surveillance. Quitting one technology company while maintaining a directorship at another is a career rebrand. True ethical action requires structural financial divestment, which is entirely absent from this ledger. This individual financial contradiction is a symptom of a much wider, systemic failure regarding how the AI industry attempts to regulate itself. California serves as the geographic and cultural epicenter for this flawed model of internal self-regulation. We see this clearly in the recent "We Will Not Be Divided" movement, a massive internal tech campaign featuring signatures from over 1,000 artificial intelligence staff members. Their stated objective is to petition executives to establish firm ethical red lines to prevent AI systems from causing harm. This accountability flowchart tracks the actual trajectory of those demands. The letters move upward through management, but immediately hit this dead-end node. These employees are operating with zero statutory laws in California to enforce their boundaries. Without hard legal backing, these demands rely entirely on the voluntary compliance of technology executives. the exact same executives managing conflicting financial ledgers and external board seats. Corporate advocacy unsupported by state code is a functionally useless mechanism. It serves to generate public relations material, yielding zero structural safety. To find a truly active and functional legal framework, we must look far outside the borders of Silicon Valley. Right now, the state of Montana operates as the primary testbed for applying hard legal friction against the technology sector. Consider Caleb Wheeler, a local resident currently fighting the exact unsupervised surveillance reality the California open letters only theorize about. This structural diagram maps out his strategy. He is actively utilizing two specific legal mechanisms. The first is the MCDPA, the Montana Consumer Data Privacy Act, which establishes strict statutory frameworks for how entities process personal data. The second is MCA Section 40.15.201, a civil code designed to block unsupervised digital harassment. The application of these legal codes generated an immediate, measurable result: a 70-day judicial blackout in Helena. This blackout is empirical evidence of a functioning legal system stress testing corporate actions. It forces a pause, requiring data to be validated in a court of law. Actual enforced AI guardrails do not look like polite open letters. They look like prolonged legal gridlock and enforceable statutory friction. We now have two distinct sets of data: the individual financial contradictions of high-profile AI exits and the systemic contrast between California advocacy and Montana law. Rapid AI scaling relies on frictionless momentum. Unregulated corporate ethics are designed to preserve that momentum, allowing companies to police themselves without slowing down. Claiming to care about surveillance oversight is mathematically invalid while simultaneously holding $2 million in surveillance equity. Furthermore, 1,000 signatures on an unenforceable open letter in California carries significantly less weight than one single citizen utilizing statutory code in Montana. This final comparative dashboard visualizes the industry's reality. The tech sector's reliance on corporate values and internal red lines is a failed, illusionary architecture yielding zero data. Professionals working within the AI sector must look past the glossy corporate rebranding of their executives. If the ultimate goal is to maintain control over unsupervised AI systems, the industry must abandon the theater of self-regulation and focus strictly on the execution of actionable, statutory privacy laws.